Hello, my YouTube family. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your weekend is off to a great start. Today I'm doing this quick video for you guys because I read an email, I believe it was a day or two ago, and it was really disturbing. So I wanted to jump in here and go over this important pointer for you. But before we get into that, pardon my voice, I'm not feeling well, but I cannot rely on motivation. I just have to do what I have to do, right? So I wanted to make this quick video for you guys. But I also want to point out a few of you guys, I'm not sure if you noticed, but the name of the community has been updated. So we're now called Affordable Housing Waiting Room. I think that's the perfect name. So I hope no one is confused by that. If you're recommending the channel to a friend, make sure you give them the direct link or make sure you tell them the updated name. And our slogan is pretty much I'm next, because we want everyone to really manifest and believe that they're next. So today I have a screen display here, but I notice you guys don't respond to the video as well when I'm not on screen. So I'm making an extra effort to come back on the camera. So I want to talk about this very important piece, right? Because as I said, I got an email and I was really taken back by it. I believe I covered this in previous videos, but I'm going to narrow it down. So please make sure, do not watch part of this video. Watch the entire video. I have some notes here because I don't want to miss any points. And I want to make sure you guys get this information. And I even recommend taking out a pen and a paper or taking notes on your phone, whatever works for you. Please do that. So we want to talk about the move-in timeline firstly. So I know, for a lot of you guys that's been waiting a long time when you finally get approved. It's so exciting, as it should be. What I always say, do not let that excitement rob you of you actually thinking, right, about the next step and making sure everything is making sense to you. So first I want to say, if you're approved for a unit, right, if they're offering you a unit, you have at least 5 business days to accept that unit. Don't feel like you have to make a decision on the spot. You have at least 5 business days. The next thing I want to talk about is the move-in timeline, right? So if they tell you, yay, you're approved, from that date of approval, the minimum timeline they could give you to take possession of the unit is at least 30 days. So do not let anyone tell you you have to move next week, you have to accept it and move now, or you have to move in 2 weeks. You have to be given at least, and it may be even greater than 30 days, but I know for sure that the minimum is 30 days. So please always remember that, right? And if they're asking you to move in less than 30 days, you need to be asking them for a rent incentive. Right? So, okay, you will take possession of the unit if they give you a rent incentive, meaning they could waive that first month rent, or they could waive 2 weeks, or whatever the situation is. Because a lot of times, well, not a lot, but occasionally there's lotteries that the developers want to meet what's called the first year applicable fraction, which means they have to move in a certain amount of people before a certain timeline in order to receive a certain incentive. So sometimes what they do is incentivize residents to move sooner, right? And I've done it before. Obviously, this is something that has to be signed off on by the owners, but they have given like, okay, you could give up to X month, 3 months concession. I think one time I even gave someone 6 months or something, but we had to meet that applicable fraction. So if they're telling you to move earlier, make sure you're talking about some incentive. If there's no incentive, they cannot reject you for moving, for saying you cannot move until 30 days. I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. So that's a key point that I want you to remember. If they tell you that, oh, if you don't move in 2 weeks, then you'll lose the unit, make sure you're taking a name of who you're speaking to. Make sure you're asking to speak to the manager. And moreover, tell them to put that in writing, which they likely would not do. And if they do put that in writing, your next step is to file an appeal with the agency. And if you're filing an appeal with the agency, make sure you're being very informative, right? One of my biggest pet peeves is when someone sends an email and it lacks details, whereas you have to email them back for key pointers. A lot of times the process for the agency to review your, whether it's a written complaint, whether it's an email or a letter you mail in, whatever, sometimes it takes time. So you want to make sure you're providing all the information, so when they receive your letter or whatever, they have all the information that they need, so they don't have to reach back out to you to ask you things that you should have already included. So the things that you're including is your name, your log number, the development you're applying for, the date you were notified of your approval, the unit you were advised that you are approved for, and who advised you that you have to take the unit in X day or you'll be rejected. So make sure you're putting in all that information, put in your contact number, put in your email so they could reach back out to you. So that's a very important step. But as I said, try to speak to a manager first. If there's no solution, then your next step, immediately, that same day, you should be writing the agency to advise them of that. So that covers the move-in timeline, and make sure you remember these key points. The next thing that I want to talk about is the move-in inspection, right? So let me just piggyback. I always tell you guys, going back to the move-in timeline, I always tell you guys, do not accept any unit that you have not viewed. So even going back to initially what I said, you have that 5 days to accept the offer. Do not accept a unit that you did not view. Worst thing to do, no matter how desperate you are. But that's just my opinion. You know, if you this becomes your situation, then it's up to you. But that's just my recommendation. So going into the move-in inspection. So every time whenever you're moving into a unit, they're supposed to do a move-in inspection. Depending on the process for that developer, sometimes developers will give you the keys a few days before your move-in date, or sometimes they'll give it to you on your move-in date. So the day before you actually start moving anything in the apartment, they should be conducting a move-in inspection. When they're conducting a move-in inspection, make sure that you two are looking everywhere. Look under the cabinets. Check the pipes, make sure everything is working properly. Check the cabinets, make sure whatever needs to function is functioning. All of that, make sure you're checking those things. Don't be so excited that you forget to check these things. The P-TECH unit, make sure you check to see if the system is working properly. If there's a thermostat, make sure you check all those things to make sure it's working properly. When they do the move-in inspection, if there is anything that needs to be noted, ensure that it's noted before you sign it, right? If there's any damages there, if anywhere needs to be painted, if something needs to be changed, it should be noted on that move-in inspection. And the other thing I always recommend is to take a picture of that move-in inspection. Right? Take a picture, ask them for a copy. Most times this is done by a maintenance person, so the process of getting a copy may be having to, get to management, have management co-sign it, then you get a copy. So I recommend taking a picture of that move-in inspection. And one very, very important thing, do not sign a blank move-in inspection. I see this repeatedly. Do not let them tell you, oh, just sign here. No. Make sure everything is checked out, whatever needs to be checked off, whatever needs to be noted before you sign anything, right? Because if you sign that and then there's damages and then they don't account for it, then you signed that everything was well. So you have no grounds to stand on. And even upon move out, if there was damages that were initially there, but you never ensure that that's noted, you're then going to be accountable for that. And I've seen this happen repeatedly. The other thing that I recommend, and this is what triggered this email, because I'm telling you, I'm not feeling well, but I had to do this video. Do not take a unit with excessive damages or major damages. Someone sent me a picture of a unit that was given to them, and I am so dumbfounded by it because it's like the entire ceiling was like undone, right? And I think the leasing agent told them some BS story. I do not recommend taking any unit that needs any significant repair. I think that's not a good idea. If you do decide to do it, make sure that you have some form of written agreement with the management company as to the timeline that they're going to get these repairs done. And you also have to think about how that's going to inconvenience you, because now, either someone's going to access your apartment or you're not there, or you have to take off from work to get these repairs done. People are going to be in and out at the time when you should be setting up your new home and feeling settled. But that's just my recommendation. If it's minor damages, make sure it's noted and make sure that they put in a work order to address these damages within a reasonable time. Make sure you send in a management company an email, say, hey, you moved in and these are the damages. I would like these to be get resolved as soon as possible. Do not delay. Do not delay. So this is the reason I wanted to do this video, because I'm telling you, I am just so taken back by the unit. And I'm waiting for the person to respond, because I truly hope that they did not accept this unit in the condition that, based on the pictures. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I know it's exciting. I know it's the moment you've been waiting for. But do not let all that excitement block your senses, because what's going to happen when you do get settled in and you come to your senses and you're going to be like, I shouldn't have done this, or whatever the situation is. So that's why I wanted to cover that. I hope you found this information helpful. Sorry guys, hope you found this information helpful, and please follow these steps. It's not gonna hurt you, it's gonna help you, because I always say what is for you will be for you. So if that unit didn't work out, that doesn't mean that another one would not work out for you. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this information helpful. I hope you took some notes. If you're new to the community, please subscribe to the channel and watch the previous videos. If you found this video helpful, just give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. And firstly, I want everyone below to say I'm next, because I'm believing that it's going to happen for you, and I want you to be of good courage and trust the process. So thank you for watching and have an amazing day.